Salam, Miss Naziha. I'm glad I have you on right now. Alisa, you're gonna say her bio really quickly, and then we'll move to you, Miss Naziha.
Okay, so our Oliver today is Naziha Wareh. She established Naziha's fashion design outlet and mail order catalog featuring own designs of conservative Islamic collection. She completed a one-year college in economics at the University of Damascus, got her associate's degree in fashion design at Saddleback College, and her home study is Islamic religion. She is a member of the Toastmasters Club. She has volunteered with Islamic Relief and Helping Hand, was a board member of Interfaith Committee of Garden Grove and Share Council. She also established a STEP Diverse Group and was a board member of ISCN, which is Islamic Society of Corona Norco, and ICCN, Interfaith Council of Corona Norco. And then lastly, she has started Halakha Support Group for Conference.
All right, awesome. So I'm gonna spotlight you, Miss Naziha, and then the questions that I asked you are gonna do those as well. So I am gonna have you unmute right now. I think you're muted. There we go.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Perfect. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. I'm with you. I'm all yours.
Awesome. So the first question I wanted to ask you and tell our participants is explain a time where you were very resilient or you showed perseverance.
Okay, I had many of them, but one that really, 1997, my shop and warehouse burned down after I had like 13, 14 years working so hard to build my business from nothing. So I was slowly investing in it. And when it started growing and started like, it burned all when my insurance expired. So it was really big test. But it was changing point in my life to leave the world of working, as we say, for money, to working for helping the community, helping in many different ways that gave me happiness. And I felt with all the pain I endured, it was a good changing point in my life.
That's awesome. How were you able to maybe change your emotions about it? Because you obviously felt sad at first and felt like maybe some resentment or anger. So how did you move on from those emotions?
Definitely, it was very hard. But I have big trust in God that everything happened for a reason. And working right away with the volunteer work, it really gave me comfort. Mm-hmm. And I started slowly working with different organizations. And there was so many tragedy in the world, from Chechnya to Afghanistan to every part of the world. I tried to help in many different organizations to stand with them, raise money for them. And this really made me get over my big loss.
That's so empowering to hear, because you just talked about your faith. So how do you think either the Quran or Islam in specific has helped you, just in life in general? Because faith is important to a lot of us. So how does it play a role in your life?
Definitely. There is a verse in the Quran that inspired me. عسى أن تكرهوا شيئا وهو خير لكم وعسى أن تحبوا شيئا وهو شر لكم. It says, like, you might like something and it has something not your benefit, you don't like, and you might dislike something and it has the best for you. So if we really trust God and we believe in that, then we know everything happens for a reason. There's this big silver lining to everything happens to us in life, even no matter how grave, how painful it looks.
It's a beautiful piece of like advice, but also a Quranic verse right there.
And also, like, though I was a good believer, good practicing Muslim as much as I was or I could, but I was so busy in the world of design I mean, I used to wake up in the middle of the night, barely sleep, just to go finish a design, work on making the design work. I was so busy in my family and my work that I didn't have much time to really study my religion as I wanted to. So with this big loss, there was so much time for me to study my religion as I should. So I put more time in that, alhamdulillah, and was really fruitful.
Alhamdulillah. No, that sounds like the perfect scenario where you showed resilience and you used your pain and obviously your skills to become a lot better and grow from it. So I have a lot of people asking me privately right now. Everyone is so interested in your experience with fashion design, like in the bio, because it's so unique. So could you maybe talk about how you got into that specifically?
Uh, when I was, when I mean, many times your dream change and you have to just follow the flow. When I did my high school, we call it in Damascus baccalaureate, I got married right away. And 15 years later, I divorced. And right away, I had 4 kids. So there was no time to really fulfill my dream, which it was to be a doctor, a MD doctor. And when I divorced, it just happened, I settled in the United States. I met my present husband here. Right after divorce, I went to university in Damascus. I wanted to pursue my career, but then I ended up here coming to stay with my brother who had emergency surgery, and I met my present husband, and that's the change happened in my life, where I got married and I have more kids and bigger family from his. We became mine, his, and ours. So there wasn't much time after all these years and all this big family to pursue such a big dream, like to become a doctor or, you know. So I loved fashion. My dad, he owned one of the oldest textile factory in Damascus. My mom, she used to sew all our clothes. She was such a good designer for the family. So it was in my blood. So I started studying fashion design, and I took many business classes to pursue my dream and have my own. There wasn't much at that time, 1983, 84, there wasn't, to my knowledge, any other outlet to design, not to import, to design and manufacture their own line. So I started that. And I did big variety of everything that a Muslim woman could use, could need, from hijab to conservative clothes, to Hajj clothes, to towels, to school uniform. I started contracting, school uniform. So I expanded. It took me such a hard work because I didn't have any capital. So I was growing slowly. Mm-hmm. And then when I got, where I wanted to be and grow more, and I had my own catalog, I started spreading it and having orders from everywhere. And that's when the fire took place. Mm-hmm. At the time, I didn't have any insurance, so it was a very big loss. Mm-hmm. But alhamdulillah, this, as I said, changed my path to do other volunteer work that I'm so happy I did. I studied my religion, so alhamdulillah, it took another path that I don't regret. Mm-hmm. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He plans for you. You don't plan things. So we have to accept what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala send our way. Mm-hmm. And we just put our dreams and yes, plan for it, but leave the rest to Allah.
Mm-hmm. That's such a, like I said again, like a beautiful and unique story. And I think there's a lot of different elements that everyone can kind of relate to, whether it's coming to a new country, having a different side of your family, being involved in stuff. And a lot of us know your daughter too, Sema, because we've seen her so many places. So Inshallah, we'll have her come one day. But is there a specific story in your life that you would like to share with us? We have a lot of specific questions for you in the chat right now, but is there any piece of advice
Well,
or story you want to?
definitely, it wasn't mentioned in my bio, though it is the ultimate things that happened in my life, which is working mental health. And 4.5 years ago, I lost my son. And I have to talk more about it. It's painful, but it shows that we have no control in our life. But if you want to be resilient, and we have to have the power to get over our pain, no matter how strong. Losing him in the way it happened, it made me put all my strength in doing something for mental health. With all what I went through, I thought I can be a shoulder for anybody to lean on, to get from my experience. I joined the nonprofit organization Sabil, and we started chapter for mental health to spread awareness, to remove the stigma of mental health. And we want to change the look that everybody look at anybody who goes to therapists, even to simple therapy or psychiatry or get some treatment. And I'm doing that. I help with Sabil doing so many lectures and, workshops, and raise money for that goal to help the community. So that's my last thing I'm working on. The other here for this question, and leave other reflections for other questions from anybody else.
MashaAllah, thank you for sharing that such personal story with us. I can attest that the experiences that you went through and everything that you've done for our community are definitely helping our generation with mental health and staying positive, especially in this time right now. So from all of us, it's one big hug and one big thank you to all of the work that you've done. So I'm gonna ask you some questions right now. For those that want to drop some questions in the chat right now, please do so right now. And then volunteers drop it as well. But my brother wants to ask, who is your biggest role model in your life?
Oh, there's two role models I can say in my childhood, my family, and then later on in other characters that came across your life. I never realized how much of a role model my dad and my mom both were. The way they raised me, the way they did everything by example. Even my love for humanitarian, they did it indirectly. They never turned away anybody who needed help. It just, my memory goes back to how much they used to be persons to help everybody who needs help, anybody who goes down, so slowly I felt as if their character starting to embed in me more and more. I wanted to follow their steps. So that's as for my family. I used to have a teacher that she was like amazing. I loved her so much. She was my role model. She was my English teacher. And I wanted to excel the best in English because she was amazing in the way, to share the class with us, teach us, help us, take out of her time to do anything for her students. So these two, examples from family and from people around me.
I love that you learned from, I love how you remembered specifically your English teacher and of course your parents. That's something a lot of us can relate to right now, having very nice teachers and parents to support us a lot. The last question I want to ask you, because I know we want to have people do the breakout rooms as well, is what last piece of advice would you have for teens like us, whether it's mental health related or just life related? Do you have any piece of advice for us?
Um, communication, communication with your loved ones, with your parents. Be close to them, and it's okay if you have any problem, anything. Make your parents your friends. I think they can help a lot because they know you more than anyone else. Yes, you might have close friends, you might have lots of, good friends in your life, but don't close the door for communication and advice from your parents. You will really need it in your life.
That's a beautiful piece of advice, and I think we can all definitely implement it in our lives. So again, I want to thank you so much, Ms. Naziha, for joining us. I know the stories you shared, how they personally impacted you, really shows your resilience and how you overcame adversity. And inshallah, I hope we can all learn from different elements of that. And I'm sure everyone in this call related to some part of that story, whether big or small. So I just want to thank you again. Does anyone maybe out loud just want to unmute themselves, say anything? I'm going to cancel Spotlight and go to Gallery because we have a little bit of time. But any final reflections that you want to say out loud? I have a lot in the chat right now, but I think everyone just wants to thank you so much.